Amazing. Awesome. So excited to have you all be a part of this goal setting workshop. Ready, set, goal. Now, I want to share real quick a little bit about my experience with goal setting and why I personally do it. And a lot of times people maybe feel like it's a little bit woo-woo, whatever, but it's actually not that at all. It's not about the whole woo-woo-ness of it. It's having your goals out in front of you clear, because a lot of times life happens, things happen, and you pay attention to everything else going on that isn't actually getting you towards where you actually want to be, right? So just having it in front of you and having it set up is going to make you more likely to be successful, okay? So it's not just about the whole woo-woo, it's about just having it there in front of you and having that reminder that I'm worth it. I want to have this stuff. I want to do these things. So we're not only going to go through today the goals that you have that you may not even know you have. We're going to walk through that, right? We're going to figure out where you are right now, where you want to be, and then we're going to try and figure out how we're going to get there, right? Another thing you need to realize about goal setting and stuff like this, some of the stuff that we go through, it may not all happen this coming year, right? But it can happen in the future. Things take time sometimes, right? So just having little small steps to build up to where we want to be and creating that life that we want. And also knowing that you're worthy and you can have that life that you want, right? I think sometimes we think that we can't for some reason. So we're going to go through a whole entire process together. Again, this PDF isn't really, you don't need to have it right now, but I'm actually going to share my screen with you guys and we're going to walk through everything together. So, and let's actually, we're going to present this. All right, so here we are. Welcome. We're going to crush 2022. I'm super excited to do that together as a team. You are not alone. I hope you always remember that. You're not alone. There's always people around you that are there and they want to support you. Just make sure that I didn't miss anything in the comments. This screen didn't come up for you. Does everyone see the screen? Give me a thumbs up. See it? Awesome. It should come up for you. All right. Let me know if you still have a problem with it. We can try and figure it out. Okay, so the first thing I want us to do, which we didn't really fully do last year, is I want us to reflect, okay? So I want us to reflect on last year. I want us to reflect on 2021. So I want you to reflect on the good, the bad. I want you to reflect on the lessons learned. And I also want us to start to write down what we will leave behind in 2021 that it just didn't serve us. Like we know it just didn't serve us at all. So that's the first thing we're gonna take a moment to do here. So I'm gonna put the timer on. We're gonna put a timer on for 5 minutes. I want you to sit down. I want you to reflect on last year. Now, this can be you writing out a whole thing. This can be you bullet pointing it, okay? This is your reflection. So you do the way that you think. I personally wrote out little bullet points, then I also wrote a little letter. So the good stuff, the bad stuff, the things you learned, and maybe some things that you're gonna let go. So I'm gonna let the music kind of run a little bit and we're just gonna put the timer on for 5 minutes and then we'll share a bit. If you feel inclined and you feel like you can, we'll share a little bit of it. Taking the moment to reflect the good, the bad, the lessons learned, and what we're going to leave behind. We're going to leave there. another 2 minutes left here to keep reflecting. You can always go back to this too, right? If you do this and then later on you can figure out some other things you want to let go of. You can always go back later. About 30 more seconds left. And feel free to keep writing if you have this, like, this is your time to really understand and reflect. But I would love if you feel comfortable in the chat box, if you could share some of the stuff. So maybe we'll start with the good things, like, right, let's share some of the good things that happened during the year. For me, I had some pretty great career moves, right? I finally got on the cover of the magazine I was looking for. I was able to go to London and do some amazing things there. Got the brand deals that I've always wanted. So those are some good. So let's just start with the good. So if you can write a few. I know that this is a safe space to do so. Theater came back, amazing. Made new friends from yoga class, love that. What else? Reconnected with some awesome friends, got married, love that. Consistency, can still do a pull-up, amazing. Started workout program with my family, stayed healthy, did some house renovations, amazing. Able to travel to see my new grandkids. I fell in love with exercising, love that. My mental health improved significantly, that's major. A year of health, promotion at work, discovered calisthenics, connected with family, started stand-up comedy, love that. Amazing. Spartans again, High Ross, ooh, Maria, amazing. Developed work on space tech. Got to see my sister, finally got into my career and have a bachelor's degree in office. Amazing, this is all great stuff, awesome. So it's so great to reflect on these good things. I feel like sometimes we don't really always reflect on the good things, right? Sometimes we always just go right to the bad. So it's really good to reflect on the good things that happened this year. Able to handle stress from company transition due to exercise. Amazing, Liz, that's great. All right, so let's go to the next one. Let's go to the bad. What's bad? What's something maybe that you were like, ugh, like maybe not so great, but like, let's also think about the lesson you might have learned from it, right? So maybe not so great, but the lessons you learned. I know this is the harder one to share. Holding on to old stories that don't serve me. Yeah, that happens. That's very common. That happens to me too, letting go of those. So that's something we can leave too. You can leave those old stories in 2021 now. Toxic people, yes. Overwhelmed with work and life, friend issue, sibling dysfunction. I can just walk away from difficult conversations. Sad loss of family member. self-doubt and laziness, rejections from agencies and publishers, injured limitation of mobility, letting go of poor-quoted friends, my daughter, yes. Yeah, these are hard things, right? This is life. Unfortunately, there is the good and the bad. Yes, lots of things in here. We can think of some of those things, right? The bad things, and like what we can let go from it, or what lessons we might have learned from it, right? There's always a lesson. And it may not seem like it, and during it may not seem like it, and during a lot of this stuff it might be like, why me, or why someone else, or why this stuff. There's always lessons, and there's always things that come with it. Family splits. It's okay to not reach expectation. It doesn't mean you failed. Absolutely. Never means that you didn't fail. It's not about the end game, which we'll talk about later. It's about the journey. It really is. It's always about the journey. Cannot control others. Yes, you can't control. You can only control yourself. Some making from home, making less focus on health, maintaining boundaries. Yes, this is major. Yeah. For me, some of the bad stuff was sure setting some boundaries and maybe being around people who didn't fully serve me. The lesson learned was to really protect my energy, protect who you're with, right? Really notice how you feel when you're around certain people and certain things, and lean into the good. And then the bad, sometimes you gotta let go of those, let go of those people. Back injury, lesson learned, I need help from others. I can't figure it out by myself. Yes, for sure. It's always hard sometimes to ask for help, for sure. Let go of friends that were not supportive. Right, so we reflected here on 2021. And again, there might be stuff later on. That's why it's good to have it in a notebook. I know I always go back, right? There might be stuff that you might want to go back on at some point and be like, oh, actually, I learned that lesson as well, and I might have forgot about that right now. So time is valuable. Yes, it is. Important to have a good, strong community. Yes, that's why Strong Feels Good is amazing. Lessons learned, patience, get rid of negative people. Yes, amazing. How good does this feel? So any of this stuff, like this bad stuff, we're gonna let it go. We're gonna leave it in 2021. We're gonna leave it there. Okay, it's okay that it happened. This is life. This is how you learn things. Let's leave it there. I am worthy. Love that. All right. So you don't have to do this right now, okay, per se. And this is kind of what we just did. But what I did this year was a little different. Again, I bulleted, but then I also wrote a letter to myself about the past year and like what had happened. And I put together all the good, the bad, and the ugly, what I learned. I was like, hey, Angela, this year, like wrote like a whole thing out. So I'm going to give you like just 3 minutes. And if this is something that you want to do, awesome. If you just want to continue with your bullet points, awesome. But I really enjoyed writing this letter to myself. And in this letter, I told myself, I was like, Angela, it's okay that this happened. We're going to leave it there. It's all right. Like just a letter to yourself. Okay. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes. You can write a little bit of a letter here. And again, you can always come back to it later, but I want to give some time for you to sit down and do this. So 3 minutes of just some time to yourself to write a little letter. one more minute here with your letter. Again, we could always come back to it, but this is a powerful thing to do. And yes, a lot of this does feel liberating to say out loud. Three, two, and one. Again, keep continuing to work on it if you still have stuff coming and flowing through, but we're just going to move on to some of the stuff. But again, this is your workshop, so take the time that you need with it. All right, so next thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to go through a meditation. I thought this was a really powerful thing, and we actually did it at the event that I was at yesterday. We actually started with a meditation because this allowed us to get really clear on some of the things that we wanted and how we're feeling and stuff like that. So we're going to start with that so that we're like really in the zone right now. Like we're in the zone for what we're trying to do right now, just to determine the life that we want next year to be. So what I want you to do, and it's not going to be crazy long, is once you're feeling ready, if you have writing some stuff down, that's fine. I want you to sit up with your chest up nice and tall. Okay. So sit up with your chest nice and tall. We're just going to do some breathing. We're going to keep our eyes open first. So we're going to take our shoulders back, like really far back, and then we're going to bring them in. And we're going to inhale. And we're going to exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So just getting the breathing in. A few more here. One more, inhale. Exhale. And I want you to sit up really tall and confidently. I want you to put your palms up to the ceiling to allow this energy to come in here. And we're going to shut our eyes. And we're going to go through some meditation. Okay. So before we actually get into this little story that I'm going to go through for the meditation, I want you to listen to the sounds around you. Listen. What sounds do you hear? Do you hear the music from this? Do you hear the birds in the background? Maybe a truck going down the street? Really hone in and listen to what you can hear around you. Maybe it's something you didn't notice before. Keep your eyes shut, and I want you to look behind your eyelids. I know it's going to be weird, but it's going to be like red, maybe some weird colors. Kind of looks like a TV screen. Just look behind the eyelid. And now I want you to smell. Try and see if you can smell what's around you. Maybe it's you're cooking something. Maybe it's something in the background. Just try and smell. Really getting centered with all of the senses we have. And now I want you to taste. Taste in your mouth. Maybe it's coffee from this morning. Maybe it's toothpaste. I want you to go through that all one more time. So we're going to go back to the hearing. Maybe you notice something a little bit that you didn't notice before. Back to the seeing. To the smelling. And to the tasting. It's a great way to center yourself if you're ever feeling like overwhelmed, right? Really get yourself present in the moment. So now while you're here, I want you to picture yourself laying in bed after a night of much needed sleep. You wake up refreshed with a whole new outlook on life. A life where anything is possible. A life where there's no limitations. A life where you truly believe and deserve that you can and will have it all. Maybe you wake up next to your perfect partner, someone who understands and adores you and loves you unconditionally. Maybe you wake up next to your dream dog that you've been talking about for years. You sit up, you're ready to take on the day and a new outlook on life. But then things start happening and getting in the way, literally everything. You're working a job you aren't in love with, which starts to take up a ton of time. But hey, it pays the bills, right? Everyone needs something from you, so you start taking care of everyone else but yourself. Anytime you mention your goals, people shut you down. They don't encourage you to go for it. And all of a sudden, it's a year later, you're exactly where you were before. Time flew by, and you're still sitting down daydreaming about what life could be. Take a moment here and notice if maybe some of that resonated with you, or some of that is where you're at now. Maybe you're able to get some of those humps. Maybe you're like, oh wow, life did get in the way for certain things. I want you to open your eyes. Like I said, maybe some of that resonated with you, but some of it didn't. But the point of it is it happens way too often, right? We get caught up in everything else going on, and we forget to step back and ask ourselves, what do we really want, right? Where do we actually want life to go? So let's figure out what the hell we really want, because right now you might not even be clear with it. And once we figure out what we want, we are going to find ways to make sure those goals are in front of us every day as a reminder. Writing them down does not magically make them happen, okay? But if we see them every day, it's a reminder that you're more likely to take actionable steps to get there, right? So we're gonna go through a series of exercises to determine what it is you actually want with life. And let's be clear in the fact that you might later on think of more things, right? There might be something later on, like you're driving in the car, right? It always happens to me in the car. I'm driving in the car. I'm like, I want to do that, right? It's totally fine. But the first step is just writing out something. So we're just going to start somewhere. Okay. So thumbs up. You guys ready for that? Thumbs up. All right, cool. So now we're all centered. Let's get clear on our goals. So we're going to categorize our goals because there's many different areas in life. And I know for me personally, before, a lot of times I would just focus on my career. And then I'm like, wait, there's also other things, right? There's health, there's relationships, there's other areas in life that you also need to focus on, right? So we're going to just break ours up into just a few different steps here, but you can totally add more categories, right? So we're going to break it up into career, finances, relationships, health, and wellness. Once we map out what the goals are in each category, we're going to wrap out why. Yes, why, like why we actually want those things. And then we're going to go through where we're at now, where we want to be, and how we're going to get there. So we're going to go through each of these categories individually. Instead of doing a brain dump, we're just going to go through one at a time. Okay. So let's start with the career goals. Okay. I want you to write out your career goals. Okay. After you write out your career goals, I want you to write out why. Why do you want those goals? That's so important. Is that career goal going to allow you to have a better life, right? Is it going to allow you to travel? Is it going to allow you to make more time for yourself? Whatever. We need to understand why we want that career goal, right? Then I want you to write where you're at now, where you want to be, and you're going to figure out some steps on how to get there. So I'm going to give you, we're going to go a little bit longer on this one. So let's do 8 minutes here, just so you get used to it. The other ones will be a little shorter because you kind of get through the idea of doing this. Let's write through we got 8 minutes on the clock. Career goals, why, where you're at now, where you want to be, and how you're going to get there. Got a few more minutes here. And again, maybe you're not fully sure of that why yet. It's okay. And it might come to you later. And when you think about how you're going to get there, I really want you to think about small steps to get there. Okay? The baby steps to get wherever you want to be with these career goals. Got one more minute left. If you're feeling like you're starting to wrap up on this piece of it, feel free to share some of these. I've written down a bunch again of my career goals here. And it was to, really grow. Strong feels good, to really get the pull-up program, get more people their pull-ups, more brand deals, and really be on camera and do more stuff there. That's like personally my goals are. Because that's what I love to do. That's my why. My why is, why do I want this, right? Because I know that my message is going to help so many people, right? I know that this is when I feel good. I feel good when I'm doing these certain things, and I'm really resonating with and allowing myself to be like, this stuff makes me feel good. And that's why I want to do more of it. Where I'm at right now, I wrote that down. I wrote like, oh, these are the members that I have right now. This is how it's working. This is where things are. And later, where do I want this to be? So I want these things to feel more easy. I want things to feel easy. I want members to be like, oh yeah, I need that. Like, and they come on in. And that's sports. So that's what I want where I want it to be. How do we get there? And for me, I wrote things like, just want to make sure I'm staying consistent, constantly, showing people my knowledge, reaching out to people if I want to do brand deals, all these little steps. So start to think of stuff like that. And feel free, I would love for some of you to share some of this stuff in the box. Right, so the 8 minutes is up. So share what you have. Again, keep writing if you need to. I'm finding this particularly challenging because of uncertain work climate. I have great ideas, but I'm unsure of what is actually possible. That's okay. You could write down what you want if that wasn't a factor. I know it's going to sound crazy to do that, but write that down if it wasn't a factor, really understanding what you want. I only have 7 years left. I feel like it's just been survival and going through the emotions since COVID. My goal is to be more mindful, set a schedule for times, and I'm not meeting with teachers. Been happy with my careers lately. I just need to find more efficiency to balance everything now that their theater is back. Awesome. Yeah, so it's great that you're recognizing that. Goes to building an Israeli cooking course. I'm counted. I'm unique. I want to share my passion. Plus, being a role model for my daughter is super important and amazing. I'm an internal auditor. I've been given a character reference by my boss to sit and certify author exams. For me, self-employed, knowing what to push and what to walk away from and balance it all out, for sure. Switch to part-time jobs for more time. Love my career. I want and need to add some more hours. Gotcha. Okay. So again, just trying to figure out like, what is that process? How do we do that? Sorry, new rules at VP marketing: to be humble, build successful team, build brand, land 2 board. Love this. Set up for consulting. Amazing. Love that, Liz. Love that. I'm winding my career down and do more personal things that are of interest to me. I want to find better balance between work and personal interests. Yeah, these are really awesome. And these are so real with all this stuff on here. So some of this might resonate with you as I'm reading through them. My why: respect for my experience in education and salary that makes me giddy and provides the means to provide adventures and memories for the family. Yes, I'm learning more and more that experiences are just so important in life, right? Planning on taking my first test out for Pilates the next few months and taking online training for the rest of the time. Amazing. Absolutely. With Betsy, with your book, yeah, the rejections, you're going to get with so many things that I've done, so many rejections. And then there's going to be that one that comes around when you don't you don't think it's going to, and it does. I'd love to be closer to family and work. Amazing. All right. So thank you so much for sharing that. So yeah, sometimes, maybe this career one is tough for you. Maybe you're thinking about, obviously COVID makes things like little weird things, but if that wasn't a factor, let's have that in here, right? Because that's important. If that wasn't a factor, what could it be? I love my day job, nonprofit for our city. My career goals are to develop a side hustle for extra income. Love that. So you start to think about little steps that you can do for that side hustle to create something extra. Very cool. All right. So next one is the awkward one. I feel like finances and money make me feel awkward. So many times with everything, with career, with even when I had my job and my salary and stuff like that. But finances, unfortunately, in the world that we live right now, that's just the main thing, right? You have to have finances to live the life you want, to get the things you want, to have food on the table and stuff like that. So I'm going to give us a little bit of a shorter time on this because we kind of have the idea down with it. And I want you to write down the finances and the goals. Maybe this is a certain number that you want to hit for your finances, right? Maybe it's certain things that you want to add for your finances, whatever that may be. Maybe it's paying down a credit card. Maybe it's paying down a student loan, whatever that is. Let's write that out in here. Yeah. And yeah, money makes me feel awkward all the time. I honestly, and I can say this so transparently on here, I hate selling things on Instagram. I hate it. I hate asking people for money. I hate asking people to buy the program. I hate it. It's awkward for me. But knowing that what I have has worth and stuff like that has allowed me to feel a little less awkward, but I still feel awkward. I want someone else to do it. All right. So 5 minutes on the clock. Thank you. Amazing. Thanks so much for sharing that, Stephanie. I'm an accountant nerd. I love that. Awesome. Got 1 more minute left here. Awesome. So loving this. Great shares here. We're talking about finances. Again, I know it could be awkward, but it's what a lot of us have, right? And a lot of us are saying, live simply, to save, to pay off debts, stuff like that. It's going to feel good. Accomplished a financial goal last year, would like to draft out a budget plan and stick to it. Love that. Drafting out a budget is perfect. Spend less to create better opportunities in life. A simple bill to sustain garden to save and grocery bill. This can lead to more financial growth. Love that. Yeah, those little things are really important on how to get there, right? Because you might want to think about, there's different things you can do with finances, right? You can cut out costs. You can add another income stream. There's so many different things that you can do in order to reach and get to your financial goals. For me personally, I put a lot into Strong Feels Good and investing in it this year. So my goal is to pay that all down, and this way I can just live comfortably. And I never want to have to look at my bank account ever. That's my goal, to never have to look at it and just be like, never have to be like, oh, I don't know if I should go out to eat. Like, I don't want to think like that. I want to feel abundant in it. So my goal is to pay it all down and to do that. Spend on adventures, not things. Yes, I definitely sold all my stuff, so I know about getting rid of all the things. I stepped away from theater I'd worked at for years because the hour plus commute telling me time wasn't worth the money. Yeah. A lot of times these things are, when time is exchanged for money, it can get really tough. We're moving into other areas of income like spec homes, which will be a seller first one, and investment. Very cool. Awesome. So some great things on here. Achieve retirement goal, build 401k. I love that you just said, help my children to understand and manage my finances, because I wish my family did that. Simply like more, maybe get rid of my, yeah, it's all the same. It's like all like, and also like think that, money is energy, right? If you're stressed about money, raise your hand if you ever feel like when you're stressed about money, like your energy is just so off. Like if you're stressed about it, raise your hand. Come on. Anyone on here that ever feel stressed about? Yeah. Like I feel like if I'm stressed about money, like you can tell, like it's the money is energy. But yeah, simplifying things can be really helpful. And again, we developing different income streams, just having a game plan. If you're trying to pay something off, if we had in there, like, oh, I'm going to pay it off in a year, right? And just knowing that you're setting yourself those goals. So awesome, finances. All right, next one, relationships. Here we go. Okay. Now this isn't just like love relationships. This is like family relationships. This is relationships around you. So I would love to know your goals for your relationships, why you have those goals, where you're at now, where you want to be, and how you're going to get there. Relationships are very important. And you learn that so much in life at the end of the day, with the people you're surrounded with, the people that you're with, the people that drive your energy, right? That's really a game changer in a lot of things that we do, the support you have. So 5 minutes on the clock. Let's just write a bit about our relationships goals. one more minute left here on this one. Ooh, love that, Stephanie. Communication is huge. I love that you set a new tradition. Spend more time with each other. I don't look at the negative people anymore. I'm focused on surrounding myself with people who have love of life. Well, yes, love that. So important to get rid of those negative people. It's not serving you. Girls with my college besties, really women, working on growing the relationship with my sons and their spouses, getting to know the girls better and move on. Love that. Being present, writing letters, creating plans to get together and follow through, creating more memories with family and friends. Yes. So 5 minutes is up here. Feel free to put some more stuff in here. I love how this is all different aspects too with these relationships, right? This was, spouses with families. This was family. This was SFG meetup for sure in 2022. Fingers crossed. I definitely want to do that. Started a new love relationship only with work with the add your life to make things better. The journey, yes. Breaking relationship with lunch, college, openness, yes. Yeah, Kimba, amazing. Getting rid of emotionally draining friends. And that's a hard thing. And unfortunately, as you grow, right, you might outgrow people. As you grow, you might outgrow people. And knowing that that's okay. It's okay to outgrow people. Talk with therapists and attempt to normalize a needed estrangement from a troublesome sibling. Yes. My parents had that. My brother was very troubled. It was very hard. It's great, but I really struggle with so many friendships and feeling a sense of belonging due to COVID and dynamics changing for sure. Well, no, you have the friendships here and Strong Feels Good. I know it's not right in front of you, but you do have these friendships in front of you. But yes, it's been tough, I think, sometimes with friends. This is great. Thank you so much for sharing this stuff and reminding yourself too with these relationships, again, what you get out of them. If any of you haven't already, I would definitely encourage you to go check out the love languages and determine what your love language is. That really helps with different relationships in your life. It determines and shows how you receive and how you give love, and everyone's a little bit different. For example, my mom loves gifts. I know when I come home, if I bring her a gift, it helps her. For me, I hate gifts. I don't want a gift. Okay. So it's just really understanding that stuff. So I encourage you can go on, just Google love language, and there's a little thing that you can go through, figure out what the people around you's love languages are too, to help strengthen the relationships. Yes. Getting a bit weepy. All right, next one. Health and wellness. So this is obviously a big factor of what I do for a living, right? So your health and wellness, your health is your wealth. More than money. It really is. Your health is your wealth, right? Because without you, nothing can happen. Nothing can happen. And health is in many different aspects, right? It's not just working out, which is great. It's your mindset. It's how you sleep. It's how you talk to yourself. There's a lot of things that are in health. So think about those things and what your goal will be this year for your health, and realize how important that is in your life. So I'll put 5 minutes on the clock and we can write out some health and wellness goals. What are some other ways to look at goals for health and wellness? Yeah, so you can look at it as maybe I want to get in some movement 2 or 3 times a week. Maybe you have goals. Maybe you have like actual physical goals. Maybe you're like, I want to get a pull-up, right? That's what I love to help people with. I get a pull-up. I want to have stronger legs. I want to be able to run outside. I want to do a hike without feeling out of breath. Different ways to look at it like that. Mindset-wise, maybe I want to feel less anxious, right? So one of the goals there. Not sure if that's helpful. Sticking with 7 to 8 hours of sleep, I'm going strong with that. Accountability to myself first, that's why I led into SOG to begin with. Goal turning and planning as a new habit. Yes. Journaling could be a great goal for health and wellness. I've achieved all my listed goals that we wrote out last year. Amazing. I love that. We got 1 more minute left here. I want enthusiasm back in cooking and exercise. Amazing. Yeah, falling back in love with that. Yeah. That can be tough. Sometimes it's tough. Sometimes it starts to feel like a chore. You don't want it to feel like a chore. You want to feel like it's something for you. Gain my full energy back, less self-doubt, eat cleaner, become more productive throughout the day, meditate more. New fitness goal every 3 months to keep motivated. Love that. To feel content in my mind and body. Love that. This is great. Yeah, it's kind of like what I wrote the other day. Like there was 100% a point where I really fell out of love with fitness. Like I really didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy going to the gym anymore. I had to find other ways to move to really start to feel that again. And it took me getting back into, just being like, okay, I'm going to go for a hike. I'm going to do it for me. Especially when working out is your job, it can be a lot because you always just feel like you're working, right? Getting out on a hike, setting goals to do things like that. Then the gym becomes more exciting because you're like, oh, I'm doing this so that I can go do this, so that I can go do cool things, so I can go, you know what I mean? So shifting your perspective sometimes really helps with that. Amazing. So 5 minutes is up. Feel free to keep writing. Getting conditioned to enjoy my 5-day hiking trip. Especially if you're feeling out of sorts with fitness too, setting specific goals can be very, very helpful. That's exactly why I love the whole pull-up program, because I'm like, you're in it, and like the goal is to get up, get that chin above the bar. Like that's exciting, right? Maybe your goal can be to go do some really cool hike, or to do a Spartan race, or try one of these like relay races, or whatever it may be. A lot of them isn't really just about the race. It's not about trying to win the race. It's about having that goal and something to set towards to do. That's really exciting and fun. My word this year. So I can do work on weekly goals, adding yoga, meditation with this. I want to learn the anatomy of the body so that I can understand my body more. Personal goals to have climbed trees again without feeling weak. Love that. Keep healthy lifestyle. Keep doing things outdoor, even in the winter. Yeah. There's a lot of things you can do in the winter. I hate the cold too, so I get it, but I'm assuming it's almost above the bar. Yes. I can't wait to see you get above the bar. Keep working out. Sustain was staying positive, goal oriented. Amazing. Yeah. That's why I think the strength test for Strong Feels Good, we're starting to do those monthly. I think that's going to be really powerful for us, all of us, because it's going to have something really exciting that we're all in there as a team doing it together. All right, let's go to the next thing. So now after all of that, now we did all that. And some of you might already have this, so it's probably not going to take that long, but what's one word or phrase that you would like to use for this year? And we gave, I give some examples here: clarity, alignment, abundance, momentum. I want us to write all the goals out first, because maybe you saw something in there that you're seeing that you want to be with for this year. So let's think about some words, and feel free to word accomplish. Love that. Feel free to write the word in the box. To maintain working out 4 times a week without the aid of an on-site PT. Love that. Yeah. Balance. Balance. Ooh, lots of balance in here. I know, especially with a lot of people with this year and going from being in COVID to not, with all the work stuff, it definitely got hard to stay balanced. Clarity, grace, alignment too, Kimba. Me and you, Kimba. Alignment. Play big. Ooh, love that. What will I accomplish with myself for this year? Health, career, vision. Momentum. Yes. Momentum was a powerful word, a powerful year for me. Am I about making myself a priority? Yes. Keep showing up. Movement and peace of mind. Fun. Love that. The results I accomplished will show dedication I put in. Yes. So I think having a word can be really great. I know some people who don't just do a word for the year, they do a word per month. That's also fine too. For Strong Feels Good, I always give you guys a word or something to focus on. But yeah, having it for the year, I feel like it always helps me. Like last year was about abundance. It's interesting because I feel like I got abundance in a different way. I thought of abundance in I don't know, just only financial gain. I feel like it was less of that, and it was more of abundance in great community that I found here in Austin. So I feel like it's interesting. Sometimes it shows up in a different way than you expected, which I feel like is super interesting. Consistency and dedication. Love yourself. Got this. Amazing. Love that. So I'll pick that word. So now manifesting the vision, we did all the hard work. We did the nitty gritty in here type of work, right? Now, next up is to create that vision board, which I'll show you an example of mine in a bit. But vision board creation is really helpful. I do it on a site called Canva. It's free, Canva. So you can go on there and I put everything on there. I'll show you what mine looks like. Everyone looks different. Some people just do magazines and glue it on and they write it on the board. But I like having the vision board because, again, this is not going to magically make things happen. It's going to just have it in front of you as a reminder. Okay. I put it on the background of my computer. It's on the background of my phone. This stuff has been really important. Visualizing your perfect day, another great way to manifest, right? So we just did that meditation. At the end of my meditations every day, I sit down and I close my eyes and I picture my perfect day. And let's be real here. Sometimes you might not know what the hell the perfect day looks like. Maybe you're like, I don't know. So you start, right? You start, and each day, what you're going to notice is that you might, start to see things a little bit more, or you might get more clear. You might smell something like in your vision of perfect day. It's so interesting. Every day you do it, you start to picture a little bit more and how you're feeling. Oh, I feel relaxed here. Who am I waking up with? Where am I waking up? What is all that stuff? So visualizing your perfect day is a great day to manifest. Another interesting thing that I did this year was you can write down all these goals on a piece of paper, and it's going to sound so dramatic, but you can burn it, burn it and throw it away. Why? Why is that? Because technically manifestation, what it means is that you are trusting in the universe and trusting that it is already there and it's already going to happen for you. So what happens sometimes if you're manifesting and you're obsessing too much over something all the time and it gives anxiety, you almost push it away. So a great thing to think about doing sometimes is writing it on a piece of paper, throwing it away, and just trusting. Obviously, you're still putting in the work and still doing those things, but you're not obsessing over it. So I thought that was really interesting. I learned that today from someone who did Wim Hof breath work, and I thought that was super interesting. Just knowing and trusting that you are where you're meant to be, and things are going to come to you at the right time, but always working forward and being consistent with that. All right. So what's next? After all this stuff, you got to take action, just like anything. Just like the workout plan. Someone wrote this the other day, right? You can buy all the books, but if you're not going to read them, what's the point, right? If you're going to buy the workout program and look at it and not ever do it, what's the point? You got to have it, take action. So in the next week, I want you to fine tune everything we went through, add it, subtract from it, create the vision board, get super clear, and take action each day to get one step closer. And don't overwhelm yourself, right? You don't have to do it all right now, right? Small little steps, okay? Small little steps for these things. I would love for you to post the vision board in the Facebook group to show the world what you're wanting. I know it's scary and vulnerable, but it works. And I've been so scared to share mine at so many times. So like someone's going to judge me, but it's so worth it. Putting it out there to the world. So putting it out and knowing too, like Strong Feels Good is a very safe place for you to put it. So put it in there, take some time to fine tune it, change it, whatever you have to do. I'm going to show you an example of mine. I'm just going to stop this share right here. So I'll go grab my example. I'm still not done with mine this year. Oop. But I'm hoping to be done with it like today or tomorrow. I just keep adding to it. But I'll show you an example of what I've done. You don't have to do it like this. This is your board. This is your screen. This is an example of my momentum year. This is, I guess that was 2020. So I put momentum in the middle. How funny, right? I photoshopped myself on the cover of a magazine. Guess what happened? 2021. Like I've been photoshopping myself on the cover since 2015. It didn't happen right away. Since 2015. Okay. So just also know some of these things don't happen right away. Right. I guess this happened too. Top risk subscribers are fit. That happened because I do stuff for fit. But anyway, so like it's so interesting. You go back on your boards, right? Some of the stuff may not have happened this and that time. So sometimes I moved it to the next board, right? So momentum, this was abundance, right? Strong feels good. Not all this stuff was able to happen, but I had it on here. And then alignment. I'm in the middle of working on alignment right now. So different types of things that I'm putting together on this. My move. YouTube, also like just all the things that I want, putting it on the board so it'll be in front of me. And then you might not see here down here, I also I got specific on why. I wrote down numbers. There's a lot of things that you have that I add to, but again, you do it the way that feels good for you. Some people don't like trying to make a board and being like artsy and stuff like that. That's fine. You don't have to but just having it visually in front of you is going to be really helpful. I'm not feeling sick of the company. No friends. Oh, no friends or groups. That's totally fine. I'm putting it in the universe. Thanks so much. I'm on the holiday till the 17th. The family sit down and once I'm alone. Yes, for sure. And just take some time. Again, for me, a lot of this stuff was coming up while I was driving my road trip to Austin. I was sitting down and I was like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. And I started adding things. So know that you can always do that. So what I want to leave you with today is again, knowing that all these things are super possible for you. I want to remind you of that. You may not think so right now. You might be in the moment right now. Feel like, oh God, this is a lot and there's no way this is going to happen. This stuff is possible. It's possible for you and all of it. Okay. Just being consistent, showing up, reminding yourself that you're worth it, that this stuff that you can literally have the life you've always wanted. Why not? Why not? Right? Okay. There's nothing stopping you. Okay. We're all here. We all want the same things. We all want to live that amazing life and feel really good. And it can totally be possible for you. So I'm going to leave the rest of this with any questions that you might have or anything that you want to share. The floor is open for you. For those of you who aren't in the Strong Feels Good membership, thank you so much for coming in here. A lot of those people on here are in the crew and I'm very, very fortunate and lucky for all of them. I'll be writing this up when I get my 22 planner. Amazing. But definitely make sure you share it too. I'd love to see it. Of course, Liz, I hope you enjoyed it. It's really awesome that you were doing this for us. Of course. I'll post my board in the group soon. Almost done. I'm excited for yeah. I gotta finish mine too. We're so happy that you enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed it so much, just make sure that you share it. If you can share it on Instagram, that's super helpful. I always say that a million times. Again, one of my goals this year is to grow Strong Feels Good. And unfortunately, we don't have any major budgets or anything like that. It's literally just me just trying to figure it out. So if you post and share and you're like, hey, I really enjoyed this workshop, and you just send them, just awareness is really helpful for anything with Strong Feels Good. Of course, My first vision board on a proper planner. Amazing. Can't wait to redo it. Yes, Maria. So great having you on here. Watch your travel moments have really motivated me to stop hiding in my house. Got you. Yeah, I know. I get it. I get that it's tough to go out, especially with the way the world is right now. But the way I look at it is like, you gotta live. Like, you know what I mean? You gotta. I don't want to remember like past 3 years of my life being confined in a house. There's just, you never know what's going to happen in this world. You got to experience it, get outside, see things, you know. It's so easy to talk yourself out of doing the vision board or the meditations, but it's equally important as the workouts. Absolutely. It is maybe even more important. This stuff is more important. That's exactly why we created the podcast. It comes out tomorrow. It's all stuff up here. I can post workouts for people all day. That's like, that doesn't matter. This is what matters. Canva is the website, correct? Canva.com. The podcast is called Strong Feels Good. You'll get an email tomorrow with the first episode. That will come out. The trailer's up right now, but it's called Strong Feels Good, the podcast. That's all it is. And a lot of it is life stuff. I go through journaling stuff. I also, I brought in my old mentors. We got to talk, which is cool. So yep, it's already on Spotify. So if you Google it's on Spotify. The episodes will drop every Monday. One of the things for my vision, right, is to get more people and get more awareness. And so my goal was to do YouTube and podcasting. So it's great other platforms that are more long form that people can say, oh, she knows what she's talking about. Maybe I'll join a program, you know? So it all like links up. So I was trying to figure out different ways. So we're going to go for it. And I love that stuff. So thank you. Happy New Year. It was really nice to see all of you, of course. Again, any other questions or anything you want to add? I'm just going to leave a few more minutes on here.
Angela, I have a question. Hi.
Hi, hold on. Let me just lower the music so I can hear you. Hold on a second. 2 seconds. Oh, there we go. Okay. Hello.
Hi. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I want to ask you about the vision board. I really love it. I feel kind of silly doing it, which is why I haven't done it. I've been talking about it for many years, you know, but I have this sort of, you know, visuals exactly what I want. But I guess my question is, how do you put it all together? And also, do you have a timeline? Because I know you said you did it in 2015 and, you know, I'm much older and a lot less patient. So I don't know how, you know, you put together the timeline and actually, you know, make it happen. I guess I'm just looking for more like step-by-step guidance for that.
Timeline for the goals that you have?
More for the vision board. Oh,
I tell you, I'm finishing it the first week of January. That's just what it is. You just finish it this week.
No, I mean, for when it actually happens, you know, like
when it actually happens, I mean, that's the thing, right? You'll never really know when it happens because it's going to happen when it's supposed to happen. I know it sounds so crazy and there's so many different goals on there. And a lot of times you have to realize, like, if you see what my vision board, if I didn't hit a certain goal one year, I just bring it back down to the next year. So I just keep putting it in there. I know it's hard and it's like, but things don't happen overnight, unfortunately. Right. And sometimes you're impatient and whatever with it, but just knowing that, like, that goes back to that whole manifestation part of like knowing that it's already happening for you. It's going to happen for you. Like I know it's so hard to trust in that whole thing and it sounds a little woo woo, but it's the truth. So yeah, just going in there and just putting on, and that's why there's a ton of different things on my boards that maybe they didn't happen. Right. But again, they might happen at some point. Like, I don't know. So I just keep moving it down. When I actually organize out the board, just like we did with the thing, I did like career, personal, whatever. You might have noticed on my board, I had like the finances on this corner. I just kind of went around and put them in different sections. And that's how I split it up. And then if there was certain things that resonated with me, quotes, or if there was a traveling thing that resonated with me, I would put a picture on it. But yeah, timeline, I know it can be tough to be, but things don't happen overnight with everything. So it's like, you have to just have it on there. And if you're doing actionable steps to get towards that goal, at least each month, then you will get there. It's not a matter, this is like one of the quotes I actually have so funny. I have it in the book right now in front of me. So I have like my alignment thing and it says, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I think that was super powerful. So hopefully that quote might resonate with you. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when it's going to happen.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Any other questions or anything that you want to share while we're in here? Super easy to follow SFG podcast and find that too. Oh, yay. I'm so happy that you added it. Yeah. Feel free to share it too. Again, the more you can share and stuff like that, the more that hopefully this will grow. and hopefully I can meet the goals that I have on here too, right? I've taken a lot of chances, especially with all this stuff, and having no idea how I was going to figure it out, but here I am. Of course, so happy that you enjoyed it. And again, the replay, well, I'll put it right on that little link that I think there's a link still here. Let's see. If you might already have it from last year, just put it on the same one as last year because it's the easiest thing to do. So I'll put the replay right here. I'm also going to throw the replay up on YouTube if anybody wants to watch it on there as well. So if you want to share it with your friend, if this is helpful and you're like, oh, like you should do this, you can put it on there. No, definitely. I really appreciate when you share. Really, again, it really helps a lot just because again, I don't have the power and the capacity. I tried this year, and again, even more transparent, I tried this year to hire a marketing company and I spent so much money on them and it didn't do anything, which just sucked. I'm just going back to just doing it as organically as possible because I feel like it's just the best way to do it. I'm not doing all the stuff that you want me to do. I'm done with that. Another goal of mine is to read more books. I bought Atomic Habits. So good. Love Atomic Habits. Actually, it's right here in my friend's apartment. I'll be sure to share my vision board in the week. Yes, definitely share it. Couldn't find the SFG. It should be, it's on Spotify. You might have to click podcast on Spotify, but I'll send the links out. I'm sharing this with one of my clients. This is so important. The podcast, can't wait. Oh, so happy. Excited for you to dive in with that. It's Strong Feels Good podcast on Spotify. Yeah, there should just be a trailer up right now. It should go like the first episode would be tomorrow. Apple won't be out. Apple, you have to get like approved. So I have to wait a little bit I think it might be approved now, but I don't know. It takes a couple of days to get approved. It's like a whole thing. Awesome. Any other questions or anything? Share on Instagram. Happy New Year. Of course, Liz, thank you so much for hopping in here. It was so great hanging out with you and learning about your vision. So great. And again, I think that, we talked about this in class before, Strong Feels Good. Every other Wednesday, we're going to have class via Zoom. So this Wednesday will be the start of that. So keep a lookout for that, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. They are recorded. Every Sunday class. This Sunday specifically, we're doing our strength tests. So that's, again, a great way to get you excited about your goals. We're going to do a strength test together as a team. May not be the week that you're personally doing your strength test, but that's okay. We're going to come in, we'll do it together. I think it'll be really motivational for all of us. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. That's it right now. Currently, in Austin and just trying to get myself to move here in like the next 3 weeks. So figuring that out. Yeah. All right, team. Again, so great seeing you all. Feel free to message me if you need anything, and Happy New Year.